You say that I want to benchmark Toyota. I said, what? What do you want to benchmark? Why don't you benchmark the style? Why don't you benchmark the management of Toyota? What have they done? And you will find Kaizen at the top of their agenda. On one hand, we are trying to be very optimistic, very ambitious. On the other hand, our cities are still very dirty. And despite the fact that the government is trying to invest so much of money in cleaning these cities, we are still dumping, we are still not becoming conscious, and we are not able to successfully implement a simple concept of Swachhta, Swachh Bharat, Swachh Abhiyan. Cleaning the rivers, cleaning, giving us drinking water. So, very simple things, and government is full of resources. They have no dearth of resources. Why should they not succeed? Why should they take so much of time? So, on similar lines, there is also reluctance on the part of the Indian managements, where they are still not understanding that the Indian psyche of bringing in that productive work culture has to be strongly followed, pursued. Okay, so if you pursue that, then only, and that's where we come in. That's where we come in. We become the change agents, we become the mentors, we become the catalysts, and we try to help the organizations, taking it, first of all diagnosing it, and then finding the gaps, and then taking it into a journey which will take them to a different level of the organization. That's where our commitment is. For me, it was a very accidental kind of a beginning to a Kaizen journey. When I was selected by the government of India for going to Japan to do a training on management consulting in the field of productivity improvement and Kaizen in Japan. So that was way back in 1992 when I was asked to go there for 3 months. So I was there in Japan for 3 months, and I was very keen to see from very close angles as to what Japanese are doing. And in that process, I came to know about this wonderful word, Kaizen. So it was 3 months training, and the very first week, I found some guys who were talking very high about Kaizen in all the organizations wherever we went. And then I talked to my Japanese guru, Fukuda-san, as to can you spend one evening with me, and can we have a session from you on Kaizen, and one-to-one. So he said, don't worry, be patient, just witness, just see what's happening, and you will very easily understand, because Kaizen mind, Kaizen thinking is not something which you can think so easily. It has to be observed, it has to be seen, it has to be witnessed. And you are an Indian, so for an Indian it will be much more easier than, because our cultures are almost similar, because he was talking to me about Buddhism, he was talking about Shintoism and Hinduism, and all these things were coming very close. Whereas for a Westerner it is a little more difficult. A Christian finds it difficult to understand or assimilate Buddhism, not in the way that a Hindu try to assimilate. So you will be able to place yourself very well. You try to understand. Kaizen means that I must change. Whatever I am doing, I must change, and I must take myself to the best possible levels. Change alone is not enough. Change for better is not enough. Change for best is what they talk. Now, there were some people, when I said change for best, they said, no, it is much beyond that. I said, what is it? Change to excel. Then I said, okay, change to excel. What else? So there was another word which came to me, the Japanese word, dentutsu. So change for dentutsu. What is dentutsu? Dentutsu means not best, but by far the best. A champion sustains being a champion. He sustains for years. Nobody can beat him. Nobody can come closer to him. That's where Kaizen aims at. It doesn't aim at making your organization better. It doesn't aim at making your as an individual better. It aims at making you the best. So, if you want to introduce Kaizen in the organization, let's say if you say it's not you want to introduce Kaizen, it's first the objective. I want my organization to be best in the world. Hitachi, another example where the bullet train came in. So Hitachi was all the time thinking as a railway organization as to how to create that speed. So in one of the Kaizen meetings, one young engineer, he simply came with one very simple concept, one simple Kaizen, and he says that normally there is one engine, there are bogies, and engine is pulling all the bogies. So how can you have that speed? There's a baggage behind the engine. So he said, why don't we make every bogie an engine and synchronize them, and let every bogie be an engine and sync with and multiply the speed. So he created a multiplier effect, and that's exactly what happened. That every bogie, no dabbas, all engines. And that's what the Kaizen also talks in the Japanese organization, that we should not have baggage in the organization in form of non-performers, executives and workers and all that. They should all be basically engines. So when I saw the environment here in the Indian manufacturing sector, I'm talking of early 2000, when IT industry was just emerging, and everything was manual. We didn't have ERPs, we didn't have SAP and all that, nothing was there. And we were depending to a great extent on the manual spreadsheets or Excel sheets, etc., for getting the data and all that. Not only that, the major thing which I encountered was that the leadership was not willing to accept the concept of Kaizen, the Kaizen power, the power of Kaizen, the magic the Kaizen could do to their organizations. So I had to do a lot of tutoring to the leadership, and I had to in fact introduce Kaizen study tours, and I had to take leaders to Japan, show them the Japanese companies as to what first-hand information about what Japanese are doing and what have they achieved out of doing Kaizen. Kaizen cannot be done one day and then next day you forget it and then you again try to do it. It's a ritual. It's a ritual for me to do Kaizen every day. So I say everyday Kaizen, and everybody will do Kaizen in my organization. As a leader, I must see everybody will do Kaizen. Two things I found. One was that lack of understanding about Kaizen, and second was lack of commitment about Kaizen. The first was understanding. I was surprised that they were saying that Kaizen is for workers. Actually, Kaizen was not for workers alone. It was for everybody in the organization. From bottom to top, the whole pyramid has to apply Kaizen. And the second was that it's only for workers and it is small improvements. And maybe it was nothing to do with the breakthroughs that an organization can think of. So the involvement of the management was, they used to tell me, all right, you want to apply Kaizen, please go to the shop floor and meet my workers and please do Kaizen there. But actually the Kaizen concept, I had to literally tell the management that it has to start from the top. So unless the top man himself is committed, so it's a top management commitment. If Buddha came with the concept of Zen, of law of karma, then he himself practiced and he himself tried. The top man, he was a top man, and then only it went down. So it is a top man who himself has to now understand what Kaizen is, the length and breadth of Kaizen he has to understand, and then he has to be committed after having understood that I will now introduce Kaizen. It will be a Kaizen organization. I will bring Kaizen culture into the organization. Okay, so it took me a lot of time. But some companies, I don't want to name them, they realized what I was talking, and they aligned themselves, and I could start seeing the results, in the sense that the workers, when I of course it depends on the quality of delivery also of the consultants, and your own understanding of the concept first, and first hand information that you have got, or knowledge you have got from Japan, and when you are translating that, it makes a lot of difference. So when I translated that and tried to deliver, I found fantastic response, and the workers were very happy that here is someone who is trying to change our way of working, and here is somebody who is trying to change the Gemba life, change the workers' life, and make them more productive, make them think better, do more with less, okay, and then earn more.